Good morning. And thank you, Borge, for your kind introduction. And thank you to the World Economic Forum for the invitation to speak today. It's 18 degrees Fahrenheit here in Washington, D.C. You see the Lincoln Memorial to my back. So while I'm not here in person, I at least feel like I'm in Davos with the weather. You know, it's interesting times that we live in. Over the past few years, all around the world, voters have tuned out politicians and political alliances that they thought weren't representing their interests. A few examples of new directions that people have taken. Brexit, the election of President Macron in France, the rise of the Five-Star Movement in Italy, Mahathir's comeback in Malaysia, and of course, Borge, as you referenced, the election of President Donald Trump. In Ohio, Rio de Janeiro, and in Rome, people are asking questions that haven't been asked, or at least haven't been taken seriously in an awfully long time. Is economic globalization really good for me? Are political leaders adequately protecting us from threats like terrorism? Are they working to secure our national interests abroad? You all know this. New winds are blowing across the world. The central question is this: do they signal fair weather or foreshadow a storm? Is this pattern of disruption a force for good or not? I'd argue that this disruption is a positive development. We are embracing time-tested truths. Truths like this: nations matter. No international body can stand up for a people as well as their own leaders can. Strong borders are key to strong nations. This is how we keep our people safe and protect our sovereignty. Sturdy alliances built on key principles are key to shared security. We need all nations to contribute to security imperatives. President Trump also knows that economic security is national security. Robust defenses aren't possible without healthy economies to undergird them. I'll talk about this for a minute. It's why pro-growth policies matter so much. I'll spend a little time on this, and I'm confident that Secretary Mnuchin will understand if I step on his turf just a little bit here this morning. President Trump's campaign slogan, "Make America Great Again," was a call to return America to the principles that have made us the most prosperous nation in world history. It was a rejection of trade arrangements that discounted the interests of American workers. It was a rejection of red tape, which constricted entrepreneurs here in America. This is the lifeblood of our economy. It was a rejection of all high taxes that tell American families that government knows how to spend their money better than those families do. And perhaps more than anything, President Trump's election was a rejection of low expectations. I remember the mantra, I'm sure many of you do, the idea that 2% was the new normal for economic growth. Well, so much for that. Today, thanks to President Trump's pro-growth policies, our real GDP growth here in America has exceeded 3% over each of the last 4 quarters. And that's not all. Wage growth is up. This matters to hardworking Americans. Job openings outnumber the number of unemployed for the first time on record. The women's unemployment rate recently reached its lowest rate in 65 years. Manufacturing, that's what I did before I entered politics, added 284,000 jobs in 2018, the most since 1997. It was said this couldn't be done. Small business optimism is at a record high. There's more to that story, but the important point is this: the unleashing of animal spirits has allowed our economy to grow even as the global slowdown looms. This economic blueprint, low taxes, streamlined regulations, and trade reform can work for you and your countries as well. The time is now to adopt these policies. I remember President Reagan's maximum, peace through strength. This wasn't exclusively military strength. It was the strength created by a free and robust economy that not only creates wealth, but also freedom. As you all know, we face many new threats. Some of them not so new. They range from North Korea's nuclear program, to Iran's foreign adventurism, to China's state-centered economic model, its belligerence toward its neighbors, and its embraces of a totalitarian state at home. Radical Islamic terrorism remains a persistent threat that we will continue to fight together. In all of these areas, we're making progress, but none of this progress could have happened without beautiful coalitions in which America has played a central role. Collectively, we've exerted maximum pressure on North Korea and that pressure has gotten Kim to the negotiating table. The United Nations did amazing work, acting as the center of gravity for sanctions that built out this global coalition. We've also assembled a global coalition of nations to confront Iran and support the aspirations of the Iranian people. And we're rebalancing the relationship with China alongside partner nations in Asia and all around the world. It should not go unnoticed that we've also defeated the ISIS caliphate in Syria and Iraq, alongside more than 6 dozen nations in the global coalition to defeat ISIS. There's a lot more work to do, and with your help, I know we'll achieve it. The United States looks forward to partnering with you to take on the challenges of our time. And Børge, I'm now looking forward to our conversation today. Thank you all very much for the opportunity to make these remarks.